into my next question. One or two things, Mike, that have to happen for Minnesota to win this game here at home?
Yeah, I think they do have to establish some sort of a running game because Nebraska's pass defense has been so good, and they're doing so much stuff, and John Butler's very good. We were familiar with him.
Yeah.
He was here for a time way back with Tim Brewster as a special teams guy and a very aggressive recruiter, and I really enjoyed getting to know him for the few years he was here. And I remember when he was at even Penn State, too, and so we know that they have some things that they can pass rush and pass cover. So I think the Gophers, some way, shape, or form, are going to have to figure out a way to get some yards on the ground to move the sticks, control the ball. They're going to need some turnovers and catch a break. If both teams play their A games, it's going to be hard, I think, for the Gophers to win. This Nebraska team obviously looks pretty darn good, ranked 25th and sitting at 5-1. So, I think today they're going to have to establish a little bit of a ground game and then count on some big plays. I mean, they're going to give up yards, but you got to make some plays, force Nebraska into some mistakes, punch a ball out somewhere. Hope that maybe there's a fumble somewhere. Even in the Rutgers game, they got a little lucky with the bad snap late in that game that Rutgers snapped it by their quarterback, and in essence, it helped put the game away for Minnesota. So sometimes you need a little luck, too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Mike, really appreciate your time, and have a great broadcast here tonight.
All right, sounds good. Look forward to it. Friday night football. Nothing better, right?
Yeah, just like the old days for these guys in high school. Really appreciate it. That's Mike Grimm, voice of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Fans, 100 years ago, one seed changed everything. Pioneer is proud to be the one you can count on when every bushel counts. Plant the 100th season of Pioneer. We continue with more after this on the Huskers Radio Network.
You're listening to Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by Central Valley Ag on the Huskers Radio Network.
To be a part of Nebraska medicine
Hi, welcome.
is to be a part of something extraordinary.
Nebraska Medicine, how may I help you?
Because these are the doors that open doors.
How are you?
To growth and opportunity for each other and for our community.
That went really well.
For those who know that the academic experience,
You know what? I agree.
the life experience that you get here is beyond what you can get anywhere else. And that's exactly why here is where you belong. Join us at nebraskamed.com/careers. Nebraska Medicine. Together, extraordinary.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Huskers Radio Network. This is the Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by Central Valley Ag. You're listening to Big Red Football.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Defend your network like a champ with Hamilton Business Technologies. From end zones to endpoints, our cybersecurity solutions keep your business and your data protected from online threats. We offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. You keep doing what you do best, and we will protect the rest. Hamilton Business Technologies, the official business IT partner of the Huskers. Visit us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Welcome back to the CVA Countdown to Kickoff. The sun continues to set here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a beautiful scene for fall football. The Huskers and the Gophers in a great transition to Cornerstone Bank time and temp. Cornerstone Bank presents your time and temperature. It's about 70 degrees when we arrived, 65 degrees at the current moment. The lights are on. Will start to take effect as we roll along. One thing to note, the wind is whipping from our near side to the far side, so a bit of a crosswind. Doesn't seem to affect the field goal kickers in warm-ups so far. So that's something we'll note and continue to note as we move along tonight. Cornerstone Bank is committed to providing you game-changing solutions for your financial needs. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We welcome in the third member of our broadcast team down at field level. That is Jessica Cootie. Jess, it's a little bit windy down there, is it not?
You know, it's a little breezy, but listen, no complaints. This is some Friday night football weather, Kyle. I'm loving it down here.
Feels like high school football, of course. Not too far from where Emmett Johnson grew up and played his high school football, about 10 minutes down the road. And his Husker team had the opportunity to have a walkthrough at his high school. And I would assume for Emmett, this is a date on the calendar that he had circled. He's coming off a career performance. Jess, what do you expect from number 21 tonight?
Yeah, I expect him to just do him and do what he's been doing and not try to do too much. I think that's the maturity of Emmett Johnson. You know, yes, it means a little bit more to him. He's going to have a lot of friends and family, but he's got a lot of family that travels to Lincoln every single week. But he'll have extra people in the stands here today rooting for Emmett here. But I think he has just grown so much in his approach to this season, and he's so confident and he knows what he's done has worked, and so I don't expect him to try to do anything more, anything less, but just keep doing what he's been doing. And you know, he's locked in, he's dialed in. I watched him, he was taking a couple of laps like he always does. He's not going to change anything up here today, but yeah, I think it does carry some extra weight, but I think once this thing kicks off, he's just going to keep doing what he's been doing, and obviously it's paid off and been very successful for him.
And Jess, before we get to your keys, this is a very special game, breast cancer awareness game. PJ Fleck, Matt Rule coming together. If you're watching on television, have us synced up. You notice the Huskers have pink accents around their cleats. Some wearing the pink cleats. You have the pink accents, the N on the helmet, the pink face mask. So this is a very special night for both teams as they raise awareness for breast cancer research.
It absolutely is. And those cleats, by the way, hand-painted by a mural artist in Kansas City, Craig Gecko. I chatted with him earlier today. He individually painted each set of those cleats and tennis shoes. Took him over 3 weeks to do that. 215 pairs, over 430 individual names. So each player getting to pick out somebody, a name, somebody that's close to them that has battled cancer, and you can go down the list. Obviously, cancer is something that touches so many people, unfortunately, including us here in the Huskers Radio Network. But I chatted with Dane Key earlier this week, got very emotional, speaking about his mom, Nicole, who battled both breast cancer and skin cancer. Dylan Parrott, cancer survivor himself, but told me that, hey, his mom, Carrie Parrott, who battled and beat breast cancer, showed him the way of how to battle it and how to fight like a warrior. And he found out he was diagnosed with cancer just 2 months after they found out that Carrie had a clean bill of health. So, certainly, again, just something that touches so many people, very near and dear to the hearts of this Husker football team, including Matt Rule, who's both mom and mother-in-law. Gloria and Donna battled breast cancer, very close to Julie Rule as well. So, yeah, special night here. Dane told me he's been waiting his entire college football career to be able to wear pink in a pink game. He gets to do it tonight. He said no better place for him than to be able to do it here with Nebraska here in his final season playing college football, wearing that pink tonight to honor his mom.
Yeah, incredible video. I suggest you go watch it if you're out there in Radio Land on Husker Football X, and go and watch that video. It's certainly a heart-swelling stories, and a lot of stories where cancer has impacted many in this Husker program specifically. All right, Jess, now it's time. The Prairie Valley keys to tonight's performance. What do you got?
Well, listen, Kyle, I want to see this team cut down some of those self-inflicted mistakes that we saw last week that were very uncharacteristic. Hadn't seen much from this football team. They've been very good in protecting the football and also in the penalty area. So cut down on those self-inflicted mistakes. Let's not see that become a trend. Just a one-time deal last week at Maryland. If you get a chance, put this team away. I think that's been a message we've heard from the head coach down, that the last couple of opportunities, they got up big, had some momentum, and didn't put Michigan State or Maryland away. Got to keep the pedal to the metal, especially against this team in Minnesota that has proven that they have the capabilities to come back and win football games. And again, the run game going to be a big key once again. Just listening to John Butler earlier this week, he's expecting Minnesota once again to try to run the football on this Husker defense. But also on the flip side of that, we heard Glenn Thomas talking earlier, saying they fully expect Minnesota to stack the box and try to take that run game away from the Huskers. So both the lines of scrimmage here for both the offense and defense got to win at the line of scrimmage. Got to be the more physical football team. Stop the run and get the run game going. And those are the keys to today's performance, presented by Prairie Valley Seeds. Grow without limits.
Yeah, Jess, great stuff. And you look back to some of the numbers last week. Nebraska was -3 in the turnover margin. And you look at Minnesota, while they did not play well, they were +3 in the turnover numbers. So that's going to be a big key to today's victory. From the land of the obvious, got to win that turnover battle here tonight. Jess, we really appreciate your time down on the sidelines, and hopefully you can win a coin toss tonight. You're 0 for 6. You got to get it going for us.
Yeah, I think I need to try to call it today, but we'll see. Yeah, I think this is the night. It breaks the trend. 1 for 7 here, right?
Yes.
I think it starts tonight. Gets it rolling tonight.
Last week, tails did indeed fail for the Huskers, so they're looking to win their first coin toss here tonight. Beautiful setting for football, and what is, not been so beautiful a place to play here for the Huskers of late. They have a 5-game losing streak in this all-time series. An opportunity to smash some of those narratives that are out there, right? That numbers out in front of this Husker team, 25th in the country, cracking into the AP top 25. How do you deal with prosperity? This is one of those games tonight that on paper, Nebraska in certain areas has the edge, but how do you find a way on the road? We know Nebraska's gotten off to fast starts, but can you win the second or the third quarter? Not really squash the will of this Minnesota team with another young quarterback. And Drake Lindsey, who's coming off a performance where he threw the ball 45 times last week. That was tied for a record under P.J. Fleck. He only completed 47% of his passes. It's been an offense that has struggled to run the ball, a defense that has struggled to stop the run. And with that, voila, homecoming for Emmett Johnson, who grew up right down the road, a suburb in Minneapolis in Richfield, Minnesota. Well, that'll conclude our CBA countdown to kickoff. Coming up, we talk to the head man, Matt Rule, get his thoughts on this matchup. Gophers and Huskers coming up.
The following is a presentation of the Husker Radio Network. It's time for the Matt Rule pregame show, brought to you by Valley Irrigation.
Welcome into the Matt Rule pregame show, getting you set Nebraska and Minnesota. Another road game here for the Scarlet and the Cream Cow Crooks, now joined by the head coach, Matt Rule. All right, Coach, attacking a short week. It's a different chance for your team to overcome some obstacles, some adversity. You had that first true road game, and we saw the adversity within the game that you were able to hurdle. But now you have a short week. How do you think this team's been embracing that, getting ready for Minnesota?
I think they've done a great job. So much of it is about them and the work that they're willing to do extra on the side, mentally to be prepared, and then physically the recovery and taking care of their bodies so that they can fly around and be fresh. Obviously, the game against Maryland, being on the road, playing there, a really physical game, that takes a toll on you. And so players have to work hard to be at 100% for the next Friday night. And so I think our guys have done the work, and now it's going to come down to just applying it to the field.
What do you think you learned about your team in that game against Maryland, where, again, you take another double-digit lead? You're not in the business of coughing up leads, but when you do, it's how your team, when your back's up against the wall, how they respond. So how did they respond in your eyes?
Yeah, I think the biggest step we took even from Michigan State was, instead of it being, hey, let's fight back and not panicking, I thought like this game, it was almost like they actually enjoyed being in that moment, and 2 fourth down stops on defense, 2 80-yard plus drives on offense. That's championship caliber football. And so they understand what they're capable of. Now we have to figure out a way to bring that fourth quarter energy, to all 4 quarters.
Emmett Johnson, that 50-yard run, at least in person for me, I haven't seen anything like that. It was spectacular. Now he goes back to his hometown and the emotion of that. But where Emmett's trending as a player and as a person, just how proud are you of what he's been able to do?
Well, he's always been an amazing person, amazing teammate, and we saw what he could be, and now you're seeing what he's becoming. So he's taking advantage of that potential. I think it started late in the year last year. And his versatility, instead of allowing that to hurt you, sometimes, hey, well, he can do this, and this, so you just spread him a little too thin. I think we're doing some really good things with him to allow him to be great. And like I say, second leading rusher in the Big Ten right now, so we'll take that.
That'll work. This game is brought to you in part by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com for all your truck, SUV, and electric vehicle needs. Also, nothing goes better with Husker Sports in Fairbury. Fairbury premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. Fairbury, the official hot dog of Husker Nation. We preview Minnesota. That's next.
This is Big Red Football.
Nebraska football fans know what it takes to be the best. You've got to handle the heat, power through the cold, read the pressure. Same goes for the techs at John Henry's. They're trusted to perform when it's all on the line, when winter's driving hard and your furnace fumbles, when your thermostat is in the red zone, when the power goes out before the final whistle. Make the easy call.
Call 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
In Nebraska, the good life means mornings that wait for you, a porch swing or a skyline view, work that matters, and time that's yours. Neighbors who wave, hey there. Stars you can almost touch, a mortgage that makes sense, more space, more time, more life. Nebraska, the good life is calling. Are you ready to answer? Learn more about living in Nebraska at www.thegoodlifeiscalling.com.
Hey Husker fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Husker football games or to any other live event in Lincoln, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Nebraska football. Let's go Huskers! SeatGeek.
There's a hero in all of us. Pioneer is proud to partner with Nebraska and Iowa for the Pioneer Heroes Game. Together, we want to recognize and celebrate local heroes who exemplify the goal of positively impacting the community and who stand as an inspiration to others. If you have a family member or a community member you'd like to recognize, please nominate them at huskers.com/hero so we can celebrate the heroes in your community.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
At Channel, we always show up for our farmers. Is that tar spot or rust?
Incoming!
Definitely rust.
Rick? How did you? Dropping in to check on your crop, Bill. Let's call your agronomist before that rust can hurt your yield.
That sounds great. But when did you learn to skydive?
Self-taught, Bill. Kind of a prodigy.
From personalized insights to year-round support, Channel Seed Pros always show up. Visit channel.com to learn more. Channel, all in, all season. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Welcome back to the Matt Rule pregame show, getting you closer to Nebraska and Minnesota as the Huskers on the road. Once again, Minnesota coaches the opponent, another young quarterback. It's interesting. Drake Lindsey, somebody who's had a decent start to his year. When you watch him on tape, what do you see?
Big, huge arm. Can make every throw. High-speed processor, gets the ball out of his hands. And a winner, made a big run. He's not necessarily a runner, but made a big run to go get the first down to help seal the game. And just a guy that you're not going to be able to fool too much. You have to just go out there and play great defense. And so have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a budding star and will be a great player.
There's been a lot of great skill position groups that you guys have played so far this year. I'm interested when you see them on tape. They have multiple running backs that can get the job done, but some of their speed on the outside. What do you see from their skill guys? Yeah,
their backs are really dynamic. They're fast. They're explosive. I think when you think about their skill guys, they have a ton of guys who can make plays, but you have to go with Zero. I mean, he's kind of their flag carrier. When they need to play, they go to him. He can do it all. Reminds me a lot of Wood, Janier and Bonner for us. Can just kind of do a little bit of everything at a high level, but also when it's money catch game on the line, they're going to go to him.
Defense, they take the ball away. You look at it, they've had 3 defensive touchdowns this year. How is it a defense when you see them on tape that they really fly around, don't they?
Yeah, they play really, really hard, and they don't try to fool you. And they do 3 or 4 things at a really high level, and a lot of it's been just mistakes by other people. So for us, it's about our poise to take what's there, not try to do too much, just get in rhythm and let the game come to us.
This week's contestant for the Woodhouse block punt for a touchdown contest is Kevin Riceland of Amherst, Nebraska. Remember, if the Huskers block a punt and return it for a touchdown, Kevin Riceland will win $20,000 towards the purchase or lease of a Woodhouse brand vehicle. Go to huskers.com/Woodhouse for official rules and how to enter. Also, Pioneer, the one that started it all, the #1 seed to beat, the one for you. Plant the 100th season of Pioneer. We wrap it up with Coach right after this.
On the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey Husker fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Husker football games or to any other live event in Lincoln, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Nebraska football. Let's go Huskers! SeatGeek.
There's a hero in all of us. Pioneer is proud to partner with Nebraska and Iowa for the Pioneer Heroes Game. Together, we want to recognize and celebrate local heroes who exemplify the goal of positively impacting the community and who stand as an inspiration to others. If you have a family member or a community member you'd like to recognize, please nominate them at huskers.com/hero so we can celebrate the heroes in your community.
Hey Huskers, what would you do with up to $75K to upgrade your irrigation game? Automate that tough corner of your farm, add remote monitoring, or finally swap out that old pivot? Valley Irrigation just kicked off a bold $100,000 grant backing growers with real plays. 2 big awards, 1 chance to turn your irrigation challenge into a game-winning drive. See the playbook at valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. Just log in and grab an instant $50 Valley parts or service voucher. Here's the snap, valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
This is Big Red Football.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Final segment here on the Matt Rule pregame show as we get closer to Nebraska and Minnesota. Coach, when you look at the keys here for the Huskers getting off to a fast start, it's a group that over the last couple of weeks for you guys, you've gotten off to fast starts. But what do you see in terms of having that full 60-minute effort? What do you need from your group?
Yeah, our number one issue right now is the third quarter. We've been outscored, in Big Ten games and plus Cincinnati Power 4 games, 45-7 in the third quarter. It's the only quarter that's like that. So we have to come out. We have to come out rolling in the first quarter. We have to play the whole first half at a high level. Go into halftime, and now we have to reverse that third quarter trend. We know what we can do in the fourth quarter. We have to do it in really the whole second half. And I think if we eliminate that defect, that flaw, I think we'll play way better for 60 minutes.
Now you know PJ Fleck really well. When you see similarities in his teams, and it's been an ultra consistent program, what are the similarities in some of the teams that he's had?
It's the greatest thing you can say about a coach is that his teams maximize their talent, they maximize their opportunities, and they don't beat themselves. They win the turnover battle. They don't get penalties. So it's a really well coached football team.
Final one, Coach, do you take the time to reminisce and think about how far the program's come since that first game in 2023 at Minnesota?
Well, I think you have to see after the game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like one of those deals where it's like, hey, we feel like we've done all this, but now you have to get into the game and go play. When we went to that game at that time, we were undefeated. We were 0-0, and we dominated most of that game. And at the end, we gave it away. We fumbled the ball in 4 minutes. We threw an interception. So to me, it's about gave up a fourth down play. To me, it's about our guys getting into the game and reaching competitive excellence by being poised and confident from all their preparation. If we do that, we'll have a great chance.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Best
Thanks,
of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Tonight's road game broadcast is brought to you by the Lincoln Airport. The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Athletics. Book your tickets at lincolnairport.com. Husker Nation travels well with the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of Husker Athletics, with convenient flights and hassle-free service. It's LNK for the win. Visit lincolnairport.com. We continue next on the Huskers Radio Network.
On the Huskers Radio Network.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
At Channel, we always show up for our farmers.
Is that tar spot or rust?
Incoming!
Definitely rust.
Rick?
How did you?
Dropping in to check on your crop, Bill. Let's call your agronomist before that rust can hurt your yield.
That sounds great. But when did you learn to skydive?
Self-taught, Bill. Kind of a prodigy.
From personalized insights to year-round support, Channel Seed pros always show up. Visit channel.com to learn more. Channel, all in, all season. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Welcome back to the Acres Broadcast Center at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. I'm Matt Coatney. Let's take a quick look at a Nebraska Lottery scoreboard. Top-ranked Husker volleyball in action right now in East Lansing, Michigan. And just this second, they have won set one over Michigan State 25-15. Matt Coatney with you. Get ready, Nebraska. The Huskers are ranked in the top 25 and on the road for Friday Night Lights. Kyle Crooks, Damon Benning, Jessica Cootie are all set to go. Nebraska at Minnesota. Husker football next.
It's time for Nebraska Cornhuskers football.
I think people, when they hear my tone, they can tell that I have high expectations for this team. When you have high expectations, you have to have high standards. And I think at every turn, the players have matched and exceeded the standard that we've laid out for them.
8-yard touchdown run. Johnny Rogers, the Heisman Trophy winner. Pass here, he goes to Kenny. Kenny over the left side. Touchdown. Rozier running to the 50, to the 45. Left side to Fryer. He's the 40. He's gone home, mama. Another one. Touchdown. Steve Taylor. Touchdown, Tommy Frazier. Touchdown, Tommy. Corey Schlesinger. Touchdown. Nebraska's quarterback, Chuck Berringer. Lawrence comes. Touchdown. 10-5. Touchdown, Amon Green.
Dropped by Mike Minner.
By Eric Kraut. Fakes the pitch. Keeps it. Keeps it to the 25, 20. There he goes.
And dropped and down the Kinsu. What a spectacular run for touchdown, Amir Abdullah. What an amazing catch and run.
The process works for those who will work. The process is undefeated for those who won't be defeated.
High pinwheeling kick. That's returnable. Williams at the 5, far right hash. To the 10, angles left to the 15, 20. Has a crease. 25, 30. There goes Williams. Johnson bounces out right. 45. Foot race accelerates. 40. Johnson to the 30. Cuts left to the 25. Still stays on his feet. Left leaping. One-handed catch. Tumbling in the end zone. Dane Key. Touchdown. Back to pass. Looks over the middle. Throws it behind Fleming. Incomplete. Nebraska stands tall, and they're going to win it. Turnover on downs.
Brought to you locally by This is the pre-kickoff show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Welcome into the Nebraska Lottery pre-kickoff show. We welcome you to Minneapolis, Minnesota for a second straight road game for the Nebraska Cornhuskers as they get set to clash with the Minnesota Golden Gophers from Huntington Bank Stadium. Hi, everyone. I'm Kyle Crooks alongside two-time national champ. That's Damon Benning. Jessica Cootie is down on the sidelines as well as we get closer to kickoff. Big one here tonight. Friday night lights here from the Twin Cities. Huskers enter tonight 5-1, 2-1 in Big Ten play. And with that, a number is now in front of the name, having cracked the AP Top 25 for the first time since early last season at 25th. Back-to-back weeks, Nebraska's had to come from behind in the second half after holding a lead going into halftime in the last 2 weeks. It was a nail-biting finish at Maryland for sure, but this program is now 5-1 for a second consecutive year, and another chance to prove that this team is different than those teams of years past. Tonight, a win could snap a 5-game skid against these Gophers and get already in October to bowl eligibility. Meanwhile, Minnesota, they're 4-2, 2-1 in Big Ten play. Well, they lost the optics deal in the box score last week to Purdue, but in the end, they scored 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, won the turnover battle en route to a touchdown victory here last week during homecoming. Another young quarterback for the Gophers. Drake Lindsey gets a go for his 7th career start, and we'll see how he fares against this Husker defense. We welcome in the two-time national champ Damon Benning for the first time. DB, under the lights Friday night for Emmett Johnson. He comes back to his hometown, but this is a narrative game, as I like to put it, for this Nebraska team. The whole nation is watching. You're pretty much, for the most part, at least in the Big Ten, the only show in town, and we'll see what kind of Husker team we get tonight.
Absolutely, Kyle, and I think for them, what they've got to be cognizant of is this isn't about Minnesota. It's not. When you're starting to try to ascend like Nebraska is, you make it about you. That will dial you in. It will keep you focused. As you're just trying to become your own benchmark. That's the whole key for this program. It's not about the narratives, the jerseys, the one-score games. You just simply haven't been good enough. And as long as you keep the focus on you, you should be A-OK tonight in Minneapolis.
Last time the Huskers have won on this turf at Huntington Bank Stadium, a building that was built in 2009, hasn't been around that long, but was back in 2015, a decade ago. This is where the Matt Rule era had begun in 2023, a game where the Huskers, well, they shot themselves in the foot en route to an 0-1 start to that season. Fans, put away your sleigh. The Nebraska Lottery's Yuletide Ride promotion is back. You can win a new SUV or $1,000. Just enter non-winning Merry Money holiday scratch tickets by January 20th, 2026. Top prize odds vary by game. We'll step aside here on the Nebraska Lottery pre-kickoff show. We'll welcome in Jessica Cooney as well, the third member of our broadcast team here from the Twin Cities. We continue after this on the Huskers Radio Network.
You're listening to the pre-kickoff show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
1, 2, 3, Wildcat!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
See Shelter Agent John Austin in Fairbury, Rhonda Miller in Alliance, or Stephanie Culver in Holdridge today.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists. Shop the sales and get fuel savers. Talk about convenient. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
Tackle the toughest tasks on your farm with Brand Agricultural Products. They've got a complete lineup of grain handling and tillage equipment to take you from the preseason all the way to the playoffs or harvest. All their ag equipment is North American built and backed by an extensive network of dealerships that provide support over the long run. Lead the field with Brand Agricultural Products. Visit Brand.ca for more.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. This is Big Red Football.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
In Nebraska, the good life means mornings that wait for you. A porch swing or a skyline view. Work that matters and time that's yours. Neighbors who wave.
Hey there.
Stars you can almost touch. A mortgage that makes sense. More space, more time, more life. Nebraska, the good life is calling. Are you ready to answer? Learn more about living in Nebraska at www.thegoodlifeiscalling.com.
You're listening to the pre-kickoff show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
Little Friday night football, Huskers and Gophers. Big one as we move along in Big Ten play here in the month of October. Huskers 5-1, 2-1 in Big Ten play. Gophers on the flip side, 4-2, 2-1. They've won 5 straight in this series. Kyle Crooks, national champ. Damon Benning, Jessica Cootie down on the sidelines. Ben McLaughlin, our stats rock star, host of Husker Game Day. You'll hear him in the 5th quarter show. Matt Coatney is back at the Acres Broadcast Center. You'll hear him with Josh Menderes for the Big Red Reaction show that's coming up after our post-game coverage. So appreciate everybody. Josh Hilkeman, Russ Brown, the entire crew back at our Acres Broadcast Center. So it's a massive army that gets us on the air here tonight. All right, let's go down to the sidelines first and chat with Jess. We got a chance to chat a little bit in the countdown to kickoff, Jess, but take our viewers down on the field. How does it feel? What's sort of the environment down on the field?
Well, I couldn't ask for more perfect weather on this Friday night game. I mean, just absolutely perfect fall football weather on this Friday night, but watching closely with warm-ups. You know, there was a lot of action in the medical tent last week against Maryland. Luckily, none of those injuries kept any of the guys out this week. Watching really closely, a guy like Vincent Schaefer's who left, came out, was attended to for quite some time, was limping. It might have been the hammy, but was fighting to get back out there. He looked good to go, no limp at all, but he does have a cast on his right hand, a pretty big cast that goes all the way down to his thumb. Javen Wright also will be starting alongside Vincent Schaefer's. On the offensive line, it is Gunnar Gatula and Elijah Pritchett. Once again, Pritchett was on the availability report last week as questionable. I thought he was a little limpy in warm-ups. He looked fine today, looked absolutely good to go. So that will be the starters again there on the offensive line. Once again, no Malcolm Hartzog. I know Coach Roll thought maybe he'd be back tonight. He is not available tonight, so it is those same 5, Rex Guthrie, Donovan Jones, Deshaun Singleton, Andrew Marshall, and Sierra Wright. But as we've seen every week with John Butler, going to run a lot of guys in and out. They're both in the secondary and up front, guys.
Yeah, Jess, great stuff down on the field. And if you talk about the injuries, you flip things over to Minnesota. You're looking at the availability report and some of the guys that aren't dressed. I think their secondary might have some issues here tonight. They have 2 guys that were listed as out on the availability report, and John Nestor, who's their starting corner, looks like DB, he wasn't dressed for warm-up, so that could be an issue for the Gophers.
Absolutely. 2 of your top 3 corners out. And listen, you may say, hey, you know, they weren't tackling well anyway. Let's see what the new guys can do. But they were turning teams over with 6 interceptions, and they have been opportunistic. I'll be curious to see just this in this environment, KC, how they respond, because I'm telling you, these wide receivers, this team in general seems pretty focused.
Let's talk about Minnesota. A lot of Husker fans maybe have not watched Minnesota up until this point. You look at the record, 4-2, 2-1 in Big Ten play. But as you say, or as a lot of football guys say, film don't lie. So what does the film say about the Gophers? Yeah,
a lot of this stuff that they've done, it hasn't been a very good tackling team. I think you got to start with their physicality or lack thereof. It's just not a vintage Gopher grind you team. You know, they throw the ball almost 60% of the time. They have yet to get the ground game going, and as I alluded to just a few seconds ago, the tackling has left a little something to be desired. Now, they were opportunistic. You know, they turned Purdue over 4 times last week, and, you know, despite being out yardage, it didn't really matter when people were in the gift-giving mood, and it allowed them to get a win. But when you look at the wins, at some point your record says who you really are. I'm telling you, they seem to be living on borrowed time.
Well, in their 2 wins in Big Ten play, they were down 14-0 to Rutgers, 10-0 to Purdue. So they've come back from double digits down in both of their Big Ten wins, and their loss was a blowout at Ohio State.
Yeah, and conversely, one thing we'd like to see from Nebraska, Kyle, is if they get a lead, can they stay on the gas, right? They have these lulls, these stretches, in particular second quarter and typically to start the third quarters where they seem to kind of get out of sync or maybe lose a little focus. Don't allow this Minnesota team to regain any sort of life, because as they've proven with the 4-2 record, you let them hang around, they'll get you.
Yeah, third quarter, Matt Rule mentioned in our conversation you just heard, against Power 4 opponents in the third quarter this year, the Huskers have been outscored 45-7 coming out of the locker room, so that's got to change. Meanwhile, Dylan Raiola, he's coming off what was a 3-pick day, but he threw 4 touchdowns, was able to lead a couple of 80-plus yard scoring drives. Dylan Raiola here heading into another week. We'll see what he has in store. What do you expect from him?
Yeah, I expect him to be sharp. He was not happy with a good majority of that performance last week, and I just watched him with his family yesterday, and their traditional meet and greet before he goes in the tunnel. He says we're going to see something good tonight. I don't know what that's going to be, but I know if this secondary for Minnesota doesn't get better out in space, well, I tell you, could be something good tonight if you're a Husker fan.
Some of the playmakers, Dean Key has 4 touchdowns on the year. That's tied for a team best 42nd career start at the game-winning one-handed touchdown in the left side of the end zone against Maryland. How about Isaiah Hunter over the last 2 weeks? Michigan State and Maryland. He's had a couple of 100-plus yard games, 125 against Maryland. He has 4 touchdowns as well. He's 7 yards away from 1,000 receiving yards in his career. Hunter's become a different type of weapon here in Big Ten play.
Absolutely. He's so good after the catch. They just want to get him the ball in space. We listened to him in the Cornhusker, the player talk in the pregame, and listen, this is just who he is. He's a relentless competitor, loves being out in the open field, and he loves to compete. So as Hunter starts to round his game out, who do you take away, right? Then you let a guy like the Deuce, Ja'Cory Barney, just patrol the hashes and work in the slot. And I expect him to have a very explosive game tonight, and particularly early.
We talked about DR and the quarterback for the Huskers. How about for Minnesota? It's interesting, and I've been saying it all week, and I'm sure you've been echoing the same sentiment. But in NIL and rev share, usually you have guys who are, older, come in, want to find a way to win, and they're your signal caller. But now you've had a string of young quarterbacks that you've gone up against. So John Butler, I'm sure he's going to throw a lot of different looks at Drake Lindsey, who, you look back last week, DB, they threw the ball 45 times with a PJ Fleck team. You just don't see that's tied for a Fleck era record for a quarterback, but he's only completed 60% of his passes. That's 17th in the Big Ten amongst qualifying quarterbacks.
Yeah, especially when they don't really throw it over your head, right? They don't particularly get vertical in the passing game, and you'll see a lot of check downs, a lot of dump offs. Darius Taylor had 11 targets a week ago, and they liked, I like Femi Ichiboy. It's not my boy, it's Ichiboy. And listen, Nebraska getting their backs to the ground out in space with these little checkdowns and swings, in my opinion, outside of the Nebraska's D-line versus Minnesota's O-line, that's where the game will be played if you're a defensive fan for Nebraska.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Darius Taylor was targeted 11 times out of the backfield last week. He had 14 carries for only 32 yards against Purdue. Femi Ichiboy, who you love on tape, didn't have any carries last week, only 1 reception for 12 yards, so didn't necessarily get involved in the offense. And this is a heavy tight end team. You'll see multiple tight ends on the field. And do they eventually get the run game going? You hope that's not the case here tonight, but I would assume there's going to be some sort of effort here for Greg Harbaugh to get that running game going.
Yeah, I just don't think you can give the ball back to Nebraska's offense and expect this secondary and this back end to hold up all night. Nebraska's proven that they're explosive. They're among the tops in the country with yak yards. So one of the ways to negate that is to not give them the ball. You want to find a way to control it. Although, would this be the game, Kyle, where all of a sudden Minnesota does something they haven't done all season, and that's commit to the ground?
We will find out. On the field, you have the Gopher Marching Band. Beautiful fall night here in the month of October. We'll step aside here on the Nebraska Lottery pre-kickoff show. When you come back, we'll have starting lineups getting closer to kickoff. This is the Huskers Radio Network.
You're listening to the pre-kickoff show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $4.99 a month and 0 down.
This is a commercial for Pioneer Seed Corn.
In 1926, Pioneer revolutionized farming with the first commercial production of hybrid corn, and we've been innovating ever since.
The one that started it all, the #1 seed to beat, the one for you.
In 2026, we celebrate a century of innovation. Plant the 100th season. Plant Pioneer. Visit pioneer.com/100.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health.
Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
This is Big Red Football.
Nebraska football fans know what it takes to be the best. You've got to handle the heat, power through the cold, read the pressure. Same goes for the techs at John Henry's. They're trusted to perform when it's all on the line. When winter's driving hard and your furnace fumbles. When your thermostat is in the red zone. When the power goes out before the final whistle. Make the easy call.
Call 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Dear weekend. Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
You're listening to the Pre-Kickoff Show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
Nighttime here on a Friday night in the Twin Cities, back on the Nebraska Lottery Pre-Kickoff Show. We have the Gopher mascot. He just drove onto the field. He's parked in a scooter. He's going to have to move that thing. He's parked right at the 50-yard line. The marching band is doing their thing. Late arriving crowd. We do know this. Husker fans are here. There's a pocket of scarlet and the cream out to our right in the second deck and down to our left as well. Let's take a look at the Nebraska soybean starting lineups. The Nebraska Farm Fact. Nebraska soybeans are an innovative alternative to petroleum in many everyday products. Starting out with the Nebraska offense, Dylan Raiola, of course, gets a start at quarterback, fourth in the nation in completion percentage at 74%. This is a really interesting note. Trailing in the second half of Big Ten play, Dylan Raiola's 33 of 46 is 72% completion percentage, 357 pass yards, 3 touchdowns to no interceptions, and he's had a pair of second-half comebacks. So hopefully they don't have to come back in the second half tonight. Up front on the offensive line remains the same. Elijah Pritchett, Henry Lutowski, Justin Evans, Rocco Spindler, and Gunnar Gatula. That's from left to right tackle. Emmett Johnson, homecoming for him. He grew up in a suburb here in Minneapolis of Richfield, Minnesota, about 12 minutes down the road, coming off a career performance, 21 totes to the rock for 176 yards. The talented wide receivers on the outside, Ja'Cory Barney, Dane Key, and Isaiah Hunter. Isaiah 7 yards away from 1,000 receiving yards in his career. That tight end spot, Luke Lindenmeyer having a tremendous year and had a highlight touchdown catch last time out against Maryland. Meanwhile, for the Black Shirts, and they are under John Butler, first year as the DC. Up front, Williams Winery most likely will see the start at that defensive end spot. You have Elijah Judy and Keona Davis as part of that front three. The jack position, that's Deshaun McCullough. Has 2 sacks this year, sacks in 2 of the last 4 games. At the linebacker spots, Vincent Shavers and Javen Wright in the secondary. Jessica said it, no Malcolm Hartzog for a 5th consecutive game. At the corner spots, you have Andrew Marshall and Donovan Jones as part of the best passing defense in the country. You also have Rex Guthrie seeing his 3rd consecutive start, along with Deshaun Singleton at that rover spot. Sierra Wright will be bumped in with the injury to Hartzog to the nickel. So that is your Nebraska soybean starting lineups here tonight as we get closer to the national anthem and get set to kick this thing off. Big matchup for the Huskers. They look to go to 6-1 to start a season for the first time since 2016. So it's been a while. Talk a lot about year 3 of Matt Rule. Well, this is your put up or shut up time here for the Huskers. Big opportunity to snap a 5-game losing skid in this all-time series. We'll step aside one final time. When you come back, we'll kick this thing off here from Huntington Bank Stadium. This is Husker Football on the Huskers Radio Network.
Fall into savings and drive something new at Woodhouse Chevy. Whether you're tailgating, planning a fall road trip, or driving your daily commute, there's a vehicle in the Chevy lineup that's perfect for wherever the road takes you. From reliable trucks to spacious SUVs, you'll find a wide selection of inventory, plus special financing and limited time offers available now. Shop online anytime or stop by one of our 2 convenient locations in Omaha or Missouri Valley. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Defend your network like a champ with Hamilton Business Technologies. From end zones to endpoints, our cybersecurity solutions keep your business and your data protected from online threats. We offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. You keep doing what you do best, and we will protect the rest. Hamilton Business Technologies, the official business IT partner of the Huskers. Visit us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey, college football fans. I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting in your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Huskers Radio Network. You're listening to the Pre-Kickoff Show, brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery on the Huskers Radio Network.
You guys believe in each other, believe in yourselves, believe in the process, one snap at a time. RDV, every snap, what's next? Play like brothers. Play like brothers. Pick each other up.
This is head coach Matt Rule, and Nebraska Football is on the air on the Huskers Radio Network. Now let's head inside the broadcast booth for the call of the game. Alongside Jessica Cootie and Damon Benning, here's Kyle Crooks.
Welcome into Minneapolis for some Friday Night Lights in prime time with the nation watching. It's the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Minnesota Golden Gophers in yet another road test in the Big Ten. Hi, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside the 2-time national champ. That's Damon Benning, Jessica Cootie down on our sidelines. I'm Kyle Crooks. We are very happy you could join us here tonight. The Huskers come in ranked in the AP poll at 25th. And for a second straight year, off to a 5-1 start. 2-1 now in Big Ten play. It took a comeback victory for a second straight week, posting a gutsy fourth quarter on the road in College Park, Maryland. The test tonight, the Gophers of Minnesota at 4-2, 2-1 in conference. The Gophers had to come back from double figures against Purdue last week, but against the Huskers, we've been talking about it, Minnesota has won the last 5. DB, how does that change here tonight?
Yeah, I think they want to control the line of scrimmage. Normally, I would say on both sides of the ball, but that's the obvious. In particular, I think you got to take advantage of a wounded animal. Minnesota's offensive line has not played well, KC. They haven't been physical. They rearranged the deck chairs. Nebraska's just got to hope it continues to be the Titanic. Nebraska's defensive line has got to get busy tonight.
Let me ask you this. Traveling on a short week, how much does that play a factor for this team?
Well, it does emotionally right now, none. Right? We'll see. If this turns out to be a 4-quarter game and it gets long and it's a little bit back and forth, we'll see. Nebraska's about 12 hours off their normal schedule, according to John Butler and some of the staff. So they have undersold the short week. I tell you what'll make it a real nice decision. Flying back with a win tonight.
No doubt about it. It's time now for the View from the Field, brought to you by your local Channel Seed Pro. Channel Seed Pros always show up for farmers all season long with a personalized insights and support to maximize performance. Learn how Channel can show up for you at channel.com. There's smoke wafting to our right. Minnesota is at the tunnel, and they break loose, led by P.J. Fleck in his 9th year as head coach of the Gophers. Pyrotechnics set up into the night sky here in the Twin Cities in the all-maroon uniforms. The marching band is on the field. You have 18 flags representing all 18 institutions of the Big Ten at midfield on that maroon end. Nebraska in the all-whites across the way, creeping out of that tunnel, surrounded by a lot of scarlet down on that far side. Herbie's made the trip. You have Dylan Raiola, who leads that group. And here come the Huskers down to our left. All white uniforms tonight, the pink accents. What a scene, DB, as we get set for Big Ten football here in October.
Yeah, I just love the contrast. I like the all-white uniforms. I like the chance to buck the low-hanging, trendy narratives about how Nebraska plays in them. Maybe after tonight we'll think of something more creative to say when we talk about the all-whites.
But the opportunity to play with prosperity, I think that's a phrase that I'm going to use quite a bit here tonight against a Minnesota team you've struggled against, but now the expectations continue to grow on a week-by-week basis, sitting at 5-1, nation watching. We'll see how the Huskers perform tonight. But first, let's send it down to the field. We have Jessica Cooney with tonight's coin toss.
Hey, the lone captain for the Gophers, Derek LeCaptain, the senior linebacker for the Huskers, game day captains Dylan Raiola, Henry Lutoski, and Emmett Johnson. Marquise Buford going to be the speaking captain. He'll call it here tonight. Let's send things over to the referee, Brian Banks.
It's your umpire. The remaining of our crew is split between your respective team sides. Nebraska, you're the visitors, therefore you'll get to call the toss. This is heads. This is tails. What's your call? Tails. Tails is the call. It's tails.
All right, guys, how about that? Marquise Buford told me before he walked out there, we're going to win this toss today. He said, tails never fails. Doesn't fail today. Nebraska defers to the second half.
Well, so far, tails is batting .500. That gets you in the Hall of Fame and then some in the big leagues, DB. You win a toss. How about that?
Yeah, let's get these black shirts out on the field early and just see where this crowd is at in this first quarter.
It certainly started to fill out, late arriving crowd on a Friday night here in Minneapolis. Last time the Huskers have won here, you have to go back a decade. But the history, well, it's history. And now it's time for Nebraska to